What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today is a very special day for me because I want to share with you guys my results that I got back from Ancestry DNA. Now, for me, I've always heard these different things about you look like you're from here, you look like you're from there. I've heard, I believe, East Africa. Um, if I'm not mistaken, someone told me that. Someone told me I look like I was from the West Indies. Like, uh, someone told me I look like I was from. It started with a P, but I can't think of the name. I've never even heard of that name until that day that that person actually said that. So, like I said, I'm excited, but a few things, like with black people, we always feel like we're like Indian, right? It's always like, ooh, like, yeah, somebody was Indian, okay? I don't know where that come from, but I guess let's get to this test. So I was so excited to just do the test. Interestingly enough, the results were something that I really wasn't expecting for real, to be honest. Um, but it's pretty cool. So I always knew, like, I always had some type of feeling that I had like some white in me, right? Because I feel like my nose is not like your typical like black person nose. So I was like, okay, it gotta be some white somewhere because his nose is not really giving black, black. You know what I'm saying? Like it's giving black, but it's not giving black, black. Got a little point to it a little bit. So I was like, that gotta be some white somewhere, okay? So your girl got 28% Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu people. 28%. Now, I was looking into these people. So, apparently, this is like a lot of different people. So, a lot of different people fall under this category. So, with that, it's kind of very broad, and I don't really get a feel for like who the people are that I've come from this particular um, ethnic background or whatnot. So, when I was looking into these people, it was saying that they originally um, were in Cameroon and then they kind of like migrated down to South Africa for like different reasons. I forgot all of the reasons, but it was different reasons. Um, a lot of like the Bantu people were um, indigenous. How do you say indigenous? Indigenous? Indigenous. I think that's how you say it. They were those type of people who were like colonized. Like they had their own little thing going on, and people like came over. That's the story for all of us, to be honest. I mean, not to make it like that, but I'm just saying. Um. So yeah, it kind of made me interested to know like I don't know, but these people do look a little Indian, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe that's where the whole Indian concept comes from. I don't know. If somebody know, please inform me. But apparently, a lot of the uh, Bantu people migrated to different places. So we got our Eastern Bantu people and we have our Western. My people that I have the majority of my DNA from is Western Bantu people. So when I was thinking of Bantu people, I'm like, oh, these may be the originators of the Bantu knots. I say, ooh, that's why your girl looks so good with them Bantu knots. Now let me stop playing. Okay. So next, with a very high percentage on my list of things or countries, Nigeria. Your girl is Nigerian, okay? Your girl is Nigerian, okay? I said, ooh, no wonder why all of the Nigerian men just been very like, you know, just really gravitating towards your girl or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that was really exciting for me. I don't know much about like the Bantu people, so I didn't really know how to like, you know, feel about that. So I was looking into like all of these cultures or whatnot. But yeah, Nigeria, that's something that I'm kind of familiar with because I have had conversations with Nigerians. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And then next was Benin and Togo. I think it's called Togo or Togo. It might be Togo though. 13%. I don't know why it's like two different places. So it's weird. Like the DNA ancestry for me has been very, I don't think it gave me everything that I wanted it to give. Like, it didn't give me everything that I really needed for real. So, it's just a lot of like digging I feel like I need to do. That's going to require like some time. And I don't feel like a lot of my people know where they're from either. So, that makes it even more difficult. And I think that's like my biggest thing I'm just like really discouraged about because I'm like, man, like they don't know for real. This information I'm sharing with my mom and like my my aunt, and you know what I'm saying? I feel like they didn't even know. So it's just like I don't know. Um so I have Ivory Coast and Ghana with 11%, Mali 10%, Wales, which is like the Welsh people, is 4%. Like I was telling y'all about that white people in my blood. Scotland 4%. I got Nigeria East Central 2%, which I feel like a lot of the Bantu people migrated to Nigeria too. So I feel like that could be part of it. And then I have Southern Bantu people like with 2%. So I'm like, okay, maybe these people were just some of the same people, but they just migrated to different places, and like that's what the DNA tracing back to. I don't know. And then I have Senegal with 1%, Norway with 1%, Germanic Europe with 1%, and Ireland with 1%. So essentially, we're looking at about 8, 9, 10, 11% white. Yeah, 11% white. That's a pretty high number, to be honest. What do I want to say? One thing that I was kind of like, I think what made me frustrated, I feel like I don't know if people really talk about these parts of like them finding out about like what's a part of them. I just really thought about how, and I really don't want this to sound bad, but I really thought about how, you know, like Africans, like we were minding our business. Like we were minding our business. I really feel that. And like, you know, why they have to come disturb the peace? That's all I gotta say. Because now I feel like it's so sad that we all have to kind of like, oh, you know, dig deeper, have to do this and do that to figure out who we are. And it's like, frustrating. Like, I wish that I could just identify with like one culture, one group of people, and like, because I know a lot of people who are like Africans, and they be like, oh, like my family is Nigerian, like we celebrate this culture, we do this, we do that. And it's like, for us, for me, I'm looking at this DNA ancestry and I'm like, well, I have so many different people to identify with, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess you just take the higher percentage and just be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna look into, or these are the people who I'm gonna look into. Now with this, like I said, the Western Bantu people, I don't really know like what exact like tribe and all of that different stuff that my family comes from, because that is very high on my list. But I also found out that with DNA, you only get so much of your parents' DNA, and they only get so much of their parents' DNA. So my mom or dad may have more Nigerian in them than they pass down to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a thing where DNA is kind of like interesting, but also weird. So I'll just take like the more and be like, okay, this is it. Cause I do feel like it's important to be able to, say like, oh, I'm Nigerian, or oh, I'm this or that or whatever. But it's just so unfortunate, like, and it kind of saddens me a little bit, but I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. Um, at least I know it's there. I guess I'll say that. But I was doing like a thing where, because I had also kind of subscribed, so I wanted to see which parent gave me what, right? And so at first, like before I did that, I was kind of like going through it with my mom, and I'm like, oh well, maybe like this comes from your side, and just kind of like analyzing. But this was before I actually found out like which parent gave me what. But with this, it's not specific, so I don't know which parent. It just says parent 1 and 2. So now I still have to kind of like, okay, this may come from my father's side, this may come from my mother's side. But my brother, two of my brothers took the Ancestry DNA test as well, and Nigerian came up like higher for them too. So I'm like, okay, well, this may be from my mom's side, the higher like number. But my dad did give me some Nigerian as well. Gave me some of that Nigerian blood. But yeah, it's just really interesting. I have to actually get out of here and head to work. Um, this was my like experience with the Ancestry DNA. I was excited about it. The results were kind of shocking. Um, But it's good to just know. So, if you haven't tried it, I suggest you try. Even just to like, I don't know, convince your parents to try too. Because I think I'm trying to convince my mom. I try to convince my auntie too, but she just being weird. So, we just gonna leave her out of it, okay? But yeah. If this was interesting for you guys, please like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.